Yo.
Welcome back to the Mark Our Words podcast, the official podcast of YouTube. What's good with you, Moses?
Man, everything, man. I think, I don't know. I feel like this year is going to be a chill year.
When you say chill, I don't think people like that. People want to hear the hustle and bustle.
No, I think it's going to be a chill year. I think, things are going to be coming into place, but I don't think there's going to be too much stressing.
It's crazy.
I pray.
How come nobody never say anything bad about a year? Or pull like this. They always say something like very like
they do
extreme.
They say it in hidden messages.
Like what?
Ain't nothing gonna change this year.
Oh man.
That's what they say. They say in hidden messages like, man, ain't nothing gonna change this year. I don't do resolutions.
Oh boy, I'm just so used to how people go to extreme and they say this could be the best year of your life. I'm dying. Like, man, R.I.P. Barbara Walters though.
Shout out to her, man.
Yeah, shout out to her family, the ones that's still around and stuff like that. Man, it just I feel like this year I'm going to test. For me, this year is not going to be. I'm trying to pick a word to see that, man. I grew up in church all my life. I'm over here about to say a church word like glorious. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, that's lit.
This is not gonna be a glorious year for me. This gonna be the setup year. Like basically this is the year like this is the year that I'm really gonna test my foundation building. It's some things I want to do this year. Some first time things I want to do with my girl. I'm not nasty, man. But like we never traveled out the country together, so we straight go do that this year.
Oh, that's gonna be lit.
It's just some things that I'm like, wow. I'm gonna test my consistency. I'm gonna test my work ethic. I'm gonna test how efficient I can work. You get what I'm saying? Just some things like I'm not looking. Of course, like everybody want more money, but I'm like I'm not looking for that gold that glitters. You get what I'm saying? Like this may be the year that I want to put in the groundwork because I'll be 32 this year. And I'm like, I really want to set the foundation for my 40s. And I'm like, I don't care if it's a decade of like hard work and failures. I'm getting back to my writing. I want some failures this year. I want to hurry up, get out the way. It's the first time I'm gonna be hosting for the first time this year. I'm ready to deal with some failures this year, so I can plan better and do better the year after. You get what I'm saying? Like, and of course some wins and some success, but I'm just open to it. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm like I'm not really into the I'm not saying I'm not into New Year's resolutions, but I'm just like I'm ready for the reality of the ups and downs of this year. I'm just ready to deal with it, Nothing too down though. I hope everybody in my family don't. Like, I hope everybody's healthy and stay alive.
What?
Like, yeah. Like,
why you want that?
No,
I just wanted to push yourself.
Yeah, like, I really want to. Yeah, I want to
control pain.
Yeah, control chaos. I guess. I don't want nothing that like no bad news that's out of my hands that I can't deal with.
Actually, I might switch gears. On the topic.
Okay.
Because that kind of reminded me of something I want to talk about, which is, do we truly hate change?
I do.
Or do we hate uncontrollable change? Because change is going to happen, right? Well, no, maybe maybe we do hate change, period, right? So, for example, I was thinking about people who don't want to move out the state, because we kind of talked about this.
Yeah, man, I'm mad at all of y'all, man.
People that don't want to move out the state or move out the city that they were born or raised in because of change. It's a different environment, different people you have to make friends with. You got to know the place, you got to find out your restaurant. I'm
going to the grocery store and I got to use a GPS every time I go.
So it's difference. But the city's going to change regardless. So So the city that you were born and raised in,
Mm-hmm.
in 20, 25 years, you're gonna be like, it's not the same. And I was wondering, okay, if the city's gonna change, why not control the change yourself? That way you're more prepared for what is going to happen. Versus like you had no control over the city changing. You have no idea this, unless you're like the mayor or something, but you had no idea that DC is not Chocolate City no more.
Not at all. It's white chocolate.
So versus like if you move to Atlanta, you move to Houston, you move to all these other places, you might still get that same sense of blackness that
But
you.
it's a whole new.
It's a whole new everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was wondering like, if change is going to happen, why not control your own change? Or why people are afraid to control their own change?
When you put it that way, when I think of change, I think of it all as all uncontrollable. A lot of the change that went into my life was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
So I don't have enough experience of actually making changes proactively
Okay.
than reactive.
Okay.
Most like I'm good with on the fly. You get what I'm saying? I am a good reactor. To where it's like, oh, because of this, you gotta do this. All right, well, since I gotta do that, I don't want to do this. I don't want to give up this, or I don't want to go here. But since I have to, many times than not, we don't. When I think of change, I always think of something that it has to happen. Like you are probably one of the few people
to keep things the same.
But that's the thing about it. Are you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I don't even think to keep it the same. It just like I remember you was eating one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell are you eating? Right? And you was like, yo, I'm just eating healthier. Like I think this when you was like heavy on your kale or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Where you was like keeping like a bag of kale a day or whatever. Just keeping it fresh.
Yeah.
Let's take what's wrong with the black community in America. Diabetes. Right?
Okay.
Many people don't take that change until they are told to.
Oh yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So automatically, there's not a lot of people that would be as proactive and be like, I'm not going to season my food with all that salt. Because even you say I season my food, but I don't put a lot of salt on it.
Yeah.
Because you say I don't eat for taste.
Yeah.
You said if I want to eat for taste, I go out.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm good with eating my salad. I'm good with the seasoning that I use. And more times than not, like you know, you said it to me often. You're like, you don't eat like me, so that's why I'm probably going to outlive you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a proactive. That's kind of in a way of taking charge of your destiny. I'm just using food as an example because you still can catch it, but I'm just saying, right? But many times than not, we associate change with negativity because if things are good, why would it change?
I see.
Do you get what I'm saying? If you really like where you live, why would you move? Like
I see.
But
if you don't like where you live, that's why you would
exactly. So but not a lot of people will say, I love where I move. I'm gonna I love where I live.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move because I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna love where I like I don't see a lot of people think that way. That's that positive and proactive in their thinking when it comes to change.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's I ain't even catch that. And you might have something. You might have a point with that, right? Even with me being proactive, it is off of I don't want a negative life outside. You know. When
So
I get
basically,
older.
you saying like before it gets bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd rather do the hard work now than have to do the hard work later on in life. And even with my previous example, which was like, why not move now? You know, of course you like to say now, but it's not because, you know, to experience new things. It's because
it's going to get bad.
It's going to change up on you. So you might as well deal with the change on your own terms versus like on the city terms, right? So yeah, I think you're right. I think when people want to change, it's usually to either avoid something bad or change something bad. But for usually people don't wait. People wait for the change or wait to change until it has to be to change something bad. It's never to avoid something bad, or most times it's not to avoid something bad, right? Because things are good right now. But you might see the telltale signs, even like with climate change. People are seeing things happening. People are like, yeah, it's getting a little weird outside.
Yeah, so I'm going to move to a warmer state, and then you realize that state gets snow.
But then you like, yeah, but it's not that bad. I'ma still drive around everywhere. I'ma still, use my plastic. I'ma still, you drive my diesel car filled Hummer around. Like, it's not that bad. It's not until it gets to a point where it's like, oh, this is not what I want at all, right? Like, if life is still the same, if life is still good, why change, right? Question though. If you were in, and this is not just for you, this is like in general. If people were in a good space, though, is there motivation to, I guess, better themselves still, or do you think people would just be complacent?
Using change,
change or growth or whatever you want to say. Like, if I'm in a good space. Like, let's say you at a good space, you get a good amount of money, not the ideal amount of money you want, but a good amount of money. Do you think people are still proactive or would be still proactive enough to be like, oh, I want to still improve?
I think you have to be a self-motivated person to do that. Most people, I don't think so.
Why is that?
Because when things are good, like I saw a video and I'm gonna mess it up because I don't remember the numbers, but I'm gonna make up the numbers, hoping that you get the premise.
Okay.
They say, you know what stopped people from making $100 million?
What?
$1 million. Cause
it's hard to make that.
Say what?
Is it hard to make that?
No.
First million?
It's just once you become a millionaire,
you made it.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, you have to be a special individual. Like, even if you had the potential and the actual plan to make $100 million, the biggest roadblock to you getting that is gonna be you getting $1 million. The enemy to more is enough, and the enemy to enough is more. And it's basically based on which side are you gonna be on. What number, if we go talk about money, are you willing to say, you know what, I'm good with this? And truth be told, depending on how society is, we always talking about more and more and more and things like that, and basically inflation. There's other things that can alter. Now, I'm trying not to just pin it on the personality. There's things that there is outer influences. There is external influences that may want to do more. Yeah. Or there may be external influences that make you say this is enough. So I'm just not just saying it's just solely on the person just like that. But usually when it comes to change, usually if things are going good, like I said, it's not the goal that you wanted to make, but let's say you are very content with your goals. You're like, you know what? I don't work here, but I work here. My family's good. Everything's healthy. It kind of rocks you to sleep in a way. You kind of like, I'm living good. Very rare when you say, you know what we gonna do?
Gonna change it. And is that a bad thing though? Because it could be that. I mean, that might be a great thing, and maybe more people need to do that.
That's like gambling, though.
What?
You're taking a gamble. It's kind of
I'm saying not change. I'm saying being content.
That may be a bad thing, you say?
I'm saying that might be a good thing.
No, I'm saying that's what I think most people would do.
Nah, I don't think. But the thing is, I don't think a lot of people are in that space.
Okay. True. To get to the point to where they can be content.
I don't think they're content. I think there is what is, right? Like, there's no, is whether it's with weight, whether it's with money, whether it's with family, whether it's with your marriage.
Yeah, that's true. Matter of fact, you're right. Content, there is a bad connotation with content because it sounds like, what is that word that people use when it comes to dating?
Settling.
Settling. Yeah. And content is not settling.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But we think and we use it the same, but it's not the same. Like if you tell somebody, if somebody asks you how are you doing today, and you say I am content.
Yeah.
Somebody like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like they be like, how come you not happy? It's nothing good. It's not good enough to just be in the middle.
Yeah.
Pick a side. You sad or happy?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what, going back to our episode a couple episodes ago, talking about community. You got to be part of the community. You just can't be in the middle and things like that. And that's what I think, to your point, it is what it is. That's settling.
Yeah.
And to your point, which you are right, a lot of people are not in a good position to where they can be content.
Yeah.
They just settle with like, hey,
but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad, but it's just like.
But me and my wife, we're not intimate no more. Or me and my kids, we talk, but I don't really know them. They don't really know me.
And guess what? I'm fine with that. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's kind of like accepting that nothing's going to change, and that's more scary than changing, in my opinion.
But the thing is, usually settling means that things are getting worse, but you're not really proactively, because like even with content, there's a proactive thing that you're doing to maintain. Like if you're content with your marriage, you're maintaining that marriage in some way. Whereas with settling, there seems like there's a more hands off. Like I'm cool with what's going on. I wish it was better, but I'm cool with what's going on.
No, like it's to your point. Yeah, you're right, 100%. Yeah.
And so I guess my thing is with settling, why don't people take more of a charge in changing things? Like, because you said something powerful last episode, that a lot of things are based off of emotion. There's a book called Psychology of Money. And I was, getting my sister hip to it because she's trying to, verify, manage her money. And one thing that he said, so he wrote this whole book about how people feel and this, that, and third. And he said, what he does as a financial advisor is probably what most financial advisors tell you not to do. All he does is save. He bought his house straight off, especially in a market where interest rates was at the lowest that it ever been. But he decided to take a 30-year mortgage. He decided to use all that money that he could use to invest, put it into his house. He saves a bunch of his money. He does only index funds, so he doesn't do like all these other.
He's not taking a risk. He's taking no big risk.
And he said, you know what? I'm not trying to be a multi-millionaire. I'm not trying to be what everybody else is doing. Like all these financial advisors that's trying to maximize their savings. What he's trying to do is live the happiest life that he could live and go to bed knowing that he's okay. And so the thing that I think is necessary is that a lot of people, because even though we say we're logical, I want to be more concerned about the emotional. Because what you realize is when you get to that deathbed, you're not talking about all the logical things that happen in your life.
Yeah.
You're talking about things that make you feel happy, things that make you feel loved, things that make you feel joyful. And so if you disregard the emotional aspect of things, you start to regret a lot of the decisions you made. And so I think for a lot of people, they feel okay, but they don't feel content. And then when you dig a little bit deeper, you start to feel that they feel a little bit of sadness. And I think because people are like, I do what I need to do as a husband, or I do what I need to do as a wife, everything's all taken care for, this, that, and third. But when you dig deeper and their marriage is not where it needs to be, they don't have great relationships with their family, they feel like they should have done more in their as a career, or they wish that they started this business or this, that, or that and the other, you start to realize, oh, you're not even okay. You actually are sad. And because of that, I think, a lot of people don't feel the need to change because it's not bad. Their life is not bad. Their life is not, and you could always compare your life to somebody else and you're like, oh no, that's a bad life. I have an okay life. It's not the happiest, but I have an okay life. Now I guess to another point is that there's so many people that's so ambitious that they also are suffering from the same thing, where they're not even, they not worried about their emotional state either. They just worry about, I need to be better. It's that whole hustle culture. I need to work as hard as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be, you know, a CEO by the age of 32 or 33. But they sacrifice everything else. They sacrifice their family. They sacrifice their marriage. They sacrifice their friends. They sacrifice all these things because they need to be the best. Or you can even go in the opposite direction. They invest all their time into their kids. All they do is worry about the kids. You got mothers that do that. You got fathers that do that. All they do is worry about the kids, and then they wake up 15 years later not liking their spouse or not liking their job or not liking the place that they live. And so I think with change is that you can't just change just to change, or you can't just change up only in one certain area. But there needs to be some level of understanding where you are in life currently, and then changing the different parts of your life based on that process.
Yeah, but it's what did like when I
but it's good. It's good.
Oh, it was back on.
Yeah.
You know, no, you made a lot of good points. Like when I think of settling, there is a bit of undertones to it. It's not a good thing. Like I think of court. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let's settle. Nobody really like if it was a winnable thing, even if it's in PR or like a real trial, they wouldn't settle. They should take it to court. Yeah. But because there's a greater consequence, meaning if we go use relationships, I don't want to be alone. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to die alone. So I'm going to settle for this person and things like that. Because because at that point, you're just measuring which part. You're really just measuring on the scale of what you don't want to be more. Yeah. You don't want to be with this person more, or do you don't want to die alone? So there's that. But with change, I think your approach to it can be healthy, but it's a gamble. Because, like, for example, you have a deadline of how long you want to live in Baltimore and things like that. Of course, that's just an idea of yours. You know what I'm saying? You may stay here, but put it like this: I know for a fact you don't want to be pushed out of Baltimore. If anything, you want to make the decision, and I think that's what you're fighting for more than change itself. Yeah. Just to have the agency of your life. Yeah. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, like, for example, if you're in a sexless marriage, it's not because you don't want to have sex sometimes. Yeah. Maybe it could be your health. Maybe it could be the other person. But many times than not, undercover incel. Many times than not, we are taught to just accept things because we are put in positions that we just can't control. So it's not that I like the new environment. I just like being in control. I just like being able to say, you know what? We're leaving in a year. Yeah. And we're going to go here and we're going to make it work. More than having to move or having to leave and be like, where are we going to go? You get what I'm saying? Like the consequence of that is worse than the actual change itself. Yeah. It's just like, hey, I'd rather just deal with it head on. But no, like, that's interesting because I really didn't think about it until I was thinking about it out loud, talking about, like, yo, the reason why we don't like change is because more times than not, change comes only when things are bad. It really doesn't come like when things are good. Is there any circumstances that you read or that you've been part of to where it's like imagine you running a business and you're like, man, this is the best staff I have. Y'all doing everything good. I'm gonna switch the whole staff out though, because you know we need to change. You know what I mean? Like I want to provide more jobs for other people or something like that.
Yeah, everybody get laid off. Y'all doing a great job 2 days later.
It's just like, and then that's when you're like, why did you fire everybody? And you say, change is good. Yeah. You be looked at as like a psycho.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, you be looked at as Elon Musk, as in like, oh, he thinks he's a genius, but really he's yeah. But I do think change is good. When I do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think change is amazing when I do it. But
because I think the other thing is people are lying to themselves and they feel like they're not changing. And so what you liked 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year, might not be what you like this year. It might not be what you like today. You might like that, that pizza, but you might been again grown tired. Try something else. Try a different type of pizza. Try a different type of meal. Try, going to different type of parties or going to different type of events or watching a different type of show. I think the thing is you're limiting yourself when you only stick with the things that you do like, because you do change. You do grow.
Maybe this is another topic, but I'm going to include in this. I think about the podcast all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's my baby. You get what I'm saying? It's something that I'm trying to grow. And I'm doing it with my boy. You get what I'm saying?
It?
Huh?
I said you nursing it.
You say that because I'm bigger and I got titties.
Oh,
you
this
say
guy.
Fat. You are fat shaming me. Okay.
I wasn't fat shaming you. I don't even know you had titties. I never seen them.
Okay. I was thinking about something. And I was thinking about bringing it up with you, but I'll bring it up in public and maybe we talk about it once the time comes. Because if it's not successful in the future, then ain't no point of us talking about it. I was like, we need to put an end date on this podcast.
Interesting.
Like an actual, we're not going to record no more, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
You realize, and the reason why I think that, I was like, yo, I need to start operating how the world operates. Like the actual world, not society. I will die one day, and I need to get used to deadlines.
Or death.
Well, yes.
Yeah, because that's how the real world works.
Or basically just the end of something.
Things end.
Yeah. And I have friendships that end, that bother me. And I'm like, yo, things end, at least in my lifetime. And I don't know when that is. So because I don't know what that is, I need to be in control of the things that I can be controlled of, and be like, you know what? 2033, the end of the podcast. But that sounds crazy to say now, because what if we're at the height of it, and you're able to say, we said at the end of, we made a decision 10 years ago that this would be our last episode. We're not going to go above this, because things come to an end in the real world. We are the only thing that operate in a world that has beginning and ends, that we have a facade that things are supposed to last forever.
I think putting an end date seems weird to me, because like saying, oh, I'm only live till 50, and then 50 gets here.
I'm not.
All right, give me my pills.
No. I'm not.
My shot.
I'm not talking about your life now, because
but I'm saying nothing in the real world works like that, right?
Okay.
Like even deadlines are subject to change.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on how you feel. I think having in mind though that this is going to end. I want to end it on my own terms is important.
Yeah, because how I came about that, and I'll let you rock, is because I was having a hard time like accepting I'm going to die one day.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I'm going to, like, of course we believe there's a heaven, there's a hell based on how you was raised in Christianity or other religions. You may come back as a bus, not a bus driver, like an actual bus. People believe they come back as other things, other items.
Other living things.
my fault. Okay, the magic school bus. But I'm like, yo, I can't imagine not living. That it's so beyond me.
That makes sense.
I'm like, oh, I need to start accepting that. I need to start practicing that with things that I can control by actually putting end dates to things and actually dealing with that. Like I have friendships that ended. I'm like, yo, it makes me feel a kind of way. I thought things was good, and it just ends abruptly, like death. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I need to start putting, like, even when we think about marriage, nobody says, man, I enjoy 50 years with you. Let's end it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Like, nobody ends on a high note.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, if the note is high and it's still flourishing, why end it?
No, I agree with you.
No, I'm not saying I'm going to end my marriage now. I ain't trying to die alone. I ain't doing that. But
I think, though, understanding, I don't think you should put an end date.
Okay.
I think that's
a little too extreme.
Yeah, that's a little too extreme. But having in mind that you're willing to end it is important. And what would happen, or what would need to happen for you to say, oh, I want to end this? I think what happens is, and people do it in relationships, people do it in friendships, business, all these different things where they're saying, I don't want this to crash and burn, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make this go. Whether that means sacrificing my happiness or sacrificing my health or sacrificing whatever. Because, in life, we like the people that overcome obstacles. And sometimes we feel that, even if it's not an obstacle that we want to overcome, we feel like we can't sabotage all the time and effort that we put into something and just let it go. But I think you need to have that mindset where it's like, oh, things can end. Like nothing is for certain. Tomorrow is never promised.
Yeah.
So I think you need to have that in mind. Like, oh, I could die. All my friends could die. My family could die. My business could die. This house could burn down tomorrow. I might lose my job tomorrow. Like nothing is permanent. And when you keep that in mind, I think that is where you get some type of freedom, and it allows you to be a little bit more proactive. Like if I find out my job is just laying people off, I'm looking for a new job. I'm looking for a new job. I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna risk you guys laying me off. I might not get laid off.
But you just
but I'd rather be like, okay, I got me a new job, blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. And I like my old job, but the job security there was a little risky. If I feel like my marriage is not healthy, like we're getting a little too toxic and things, I'll try everything I can, but I'm not about to be in a toxic marriage for 10 years. Like, and
you're like,
that's not good for the kids. That's not good for me. That's not good for her.
You be like, let's just end this.
Yeah, I still like you right now. Why? I
ain't willing to give you the house.
Why even make this even worse? Like, we becoming more toxic. Like, let's, cut off. And I think it's the same thing with the podcast. If you get to a point where, or if I get to a point where I'm like, this is not what I want to do anymore. Like, the stress is too much stress. I'm missing time with my family, or the podcast is going towards a different direction that I'm comfortable with going. You should be okay separating from it versus like just doing it. And now you have a drinking problem. Now you do cocaine and a whole bunch of drugs. And now you're dating Whitney Houston. And now now you guys are both on crack.
Shout out to Bobby Brown, man.
So.
No, man. Like, I don't know, man. Change. Should we start putting a positive spin on change?
I think change is beautiful. But I think for me, it's the opposite. Understanding that you don't always need to change. I think that's something I learned today. That even me saying, because I guess in my head, before you said it, I was like, why don't people want to change? But when you said people only change when there's negative stuff, I was like, you're right. Even me. Like, the only reason I'm doing change is to avoid the negative stuff. And so I need to accept that even me, to a point, I don't like change. The only reason, but it's kind of back to your settling point. The only reason I'm doing change is because I'd rather do the change now than me having to deal with the change later. So
what is a positive change then? And then we try to get out on that note. That it's not motivated by negative. Like, even where you live and how you operate in your everyday living and paying bills and the job you work is all motivated by something that happened negative. You get what I'm saying? You're like, you know what, this,
I don't want to be broke.
You know what? Y'all ain't gonna catch me with my hand in the jar no more. Even if I don't have a job, I could survive. You get what I'm saying? That's change that's motivated by something that happened negative. Or, it is what it is. Is there any something as a positive change that's like, as in, that like you done? Because I was thinking like, I was trying to think for you. I was like, well, he did go to therapy, but that was off of something else. That was off of something else that was negative. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, this, is there even like a positive, like, that's isolated? Like, I want to change this. Things are good. It's not motivated by nothing bad.
That I've done.
Yeah, or you intend to do. I was trying to think of something for me, But I don't know how bad this is. Maybe because like you know what properties I'm looking at, and where I want to live for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
But that's motivated by tragedy that happened to me that I don't want it to happen for my girl. You get what I'm saying? Like basically I'm like, oh, I think we should be closer home because I know the value of not having. You get what I'm saying? That's something that I don't want to live there. That's me settling. You get what I'm saying?
I see.
But I'm willing to do that for the greater good of my wife. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't mind driving back into town and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think of myself of a positive change of like that's not motivated by something negative or not motivated by something that was a bad or sad event. That was like, oh, everything's good. Let me just change this. Is that even a human thing to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Even if I do come up with one, I think even the foundation of who I am is motivated negatively.
My man said, I am a pessimist.
Not even, but like my whole thing is like not living with regrets of not doing. So that's how I view most things. Like I don't want to be on my deathbed saying I wish I did this. I'd rather be like, oh, I wish I didn't do this. But I learned a lot. So that's kind of how I live my life. Like I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be able to do this, or say I went here, or talk to this person, or like I never want to be like, damn, what would have happened if I just did that thing, or I went there, and so because that's what motivates most of my decisions, which is a fear. I can't say I don't know if I could say I'm not motivated by negative things. I can't really say that.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna record more after this episode because right now we're on vacation. We on a hiatus. We're taking a break from the podcast, but we still giving you episodes. So next episode that we record, I'm gonna come in with something. I'm gonna try to think of a change that I'm gonna do or that I've done that wasn't motivated by something negative. Because to me, I would love to do that. I would love to be like, I want to move here or do this and do that and be here or work here. That is just completely motivated by positive and positivity. Like, oh, things are going good. Let me change it up. Like, you know what I mean? It just, maybe I'm on a spot I can't think, but I'm going to come back with something.
What if there's a restaurant, or what if there's like a massage salon place or a spa place or a hair or a barber, and you like one of their haircuts, and because you liked it so much, you was like, you know what? Let me see what else you got. Is that a positive?
I guess.
Cause you liked it, and you was like, what else?
Food is so good, man. It's so true. Like I'm going back to that seafood space you took me to.
Yeah, that's a good place.
I'm not going today though, because I got too much food at the house. But definitely while you're gone,
that's a good place.
I'm going by myself though.
Y'all need to go homemade.
That's facts.
Homemade. You been?
No, but like you told me, they only open 2 days a week though.
I know.
I don't know how they open.
Cause it's that good.
It's giving money laundering. Okay.
We're not gonna do that.
Okay.
Shout out to Homemade. Black owned. Y'all should check it out. I love Homemade.
Nah, man. I heard they good, and I heard the donuts is amazing too.
Oh man, Cloudy Donuts. Go to Cloudy Donuts in Baltimore. Cloudy Donuts and Homemade.
Are they right next to each other?
Nah, one's in Fells and the other one's not Fells. One's in Federal Hill and another one's
like Charles Street or something like that.
Yeah, it's something weird. It's by the harbor though.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about change? It was a good topic. I'll probably come back with a part 2 next episode or something like that.
Nah.
Man, go make a change today, man. I feel like one of them infomercials. Man, bring back the infomercials. Bring back those.
What? No.
What do you mean?
Who wants infomercials?
The one we already get commercials anyway on these streaming platforms anyway. You might as well get one.
Infomercials?
Okay.
Who likes infomercials?
Bring back the infomercials that be talking about change. Make a change today. With your change, make a change.
Nah, I'm straight.
Okay.
That sounds like scammer.
Okay.
Scammer talk.
With your change, make a change. With 2 cents, I can feed a whole village. Over here with your 2 cents.
A minute. They always do that per something, and then when you do the calculation, it's like, wait, I'm paying $100 a month.
Okay. Shout out, man, y'all.
Well, only $5 a day. You could feed a child, and you do 5 times 30. It was like, wait, $150? Oh no! I spent $150. I'm straight.
Wow.
Shout out to the kids though.
Shout out to the kids.
Save the children. I do donate to
Okay. Donate to the people in your community too. You ain't gotta go overseas.
You know what I want to start doing?
What's up?
Just carrying like $30 a month.
Talk about cash?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would say like a day.
No, that's too expensive. $30 a month.
You not even going to do 40 a month? Like that's $10 a week.
$30 a month is good.
Okay.
And like anytime somebody asks for some money, I give them $1.
$1?
Yeah. If everybody did
A
it.
dollop?
Y'all is so greedy, man. Oh, if I gave $1, you gave what all those black business people want to say? If you give $1, you give $1, you give $1,
I don't live
you give
near
$1.
you, so we not giving the same person $1.
If all of us gave $1 to this foundation, guess where we would be? I would have a school by now. I said I would have a school by now. But y'all rather give the money to the white businesses.
$1? I get food. I don't carry cash, especially now since I got like. Do I have it on me?
Yeah.
Especially since my girl's mother got me a card holder thing again.
Yeah.
The thing about that, the negative part about having a card holder, boy, sometimes you be feeling your pocket. You like, where my wallet? That they be so small. Oh boy, but y'all be good, man. Blessings.